Okay, buddy. Here you go, B. All right, phones away, earbuds out. Let's take a look at the homework, see what we did. All right, looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Anything on 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Yeah. Number 4. Number 4, you just have this, 3x plus 4, quantity squared. That means, oops, that means you have 2 of those. So you double factor, or double distribute, excuse me. So you get 9x squared plus 12x plus 12x plus 16. And then those are like terms, so combine them together. So we're putting these back together. We're not factoring them, right? Yep. Anything else? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll have a quiz tomorrow, okay? So make sure you're clear on all of these. Does anyone need to see number 5? You will definitely see one like number 5 tomorrow. You want to see it? Okay. Quiz. It's bigger than the half sheet ones. Worth a couple more points too. Oh, okay. All right. How many x minus 3s am I multiplying together? 2. So let's rewrite it showing that we have 2 of them there. Is that okay so far? Okay. Then we're going to distribute here. Distribute here. That all right so far? I'd say let's combine like terms that we have in the parentheses. And then we'll distribute the 2 over that once we're done. And then I'm going to distribute this 2 here, and here, and here. It gives me 2x squared minus 12x plus 18 minus 6. And then we have like terms now that we dropped the parentheses. So let's combine those like terms. So I have 2x squared minus 12x plus 12. Okay, so there's a lot written there. Is some of it you're able to do in your head? Probably. But just watch your signs and things. Question back there, or just a big stretch?
I got a question about the quiz.
Yes?
What does DEL?
Oh, that's my version of okay. It was too early this morning for me to write, so you got the points. Good. Now, some of you didn't get the points. Some of you, I asked you all to go through and make any corrections. People were turning stuff in blank, stuff with, we did it. I told you. Plagiarize off me to get all the points. I know. I'll just take 2. Okay. Any other questions up 6 through 17? Where? 11. Number 11 sounds good. Okay, so some of you might see the shortcut on it. Some of you might not. I can do it both ways too. So when I look at this, I would look at, I have a front end of a perfect square because x squared is a perfect square because x times x. And 100 is a perfect square because 10 times 10. Good so far? So I think this one might work out well, but then we have this confusing part right here that is not going to allow us to recognize it as perfect squares. Meaning, in order for that to have worked, I would have to have that be a negative 20x. So the perfect square model isn't going to work on this one. So then we take a look at it and say, okay, well, I know I have a 1 here. That's 100. In order for me to get to positive 100, the signs have to be the same. This dictates that they're both negative. So what factors of 100, both being negative, would add up to negative 25? Who's that? Negative 25 times 4. If I added negative 25 and 4, that wouldn't work. But one more down.
I was just thinking you about the fact that all the
Oh, no, I was just trying to get it quicker. So you're right saying these, and this, and this, and this. You wanted to write them all out. Which of those, both being negative, would make it negative 25? Yeah, that one right there. So this one comes down. Minus 5x minus 20x plus 100. Thanks. Cool. Yeah. Oh, looks like bad stuff here. Oh, jeez, you can't even read my writing. That's 5x right here, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so I have an x in common here. That's x minus 5. That sign stays the same. Looks like I can factor a 20 out of both of those. That gives me x minus 5. X minus, okay, so x minus 20 and x minus 5. That's it. X minus 20, x minus 5 is our answer. Anything else on that front page up to number 12? Okay. 4x squared minus 9. Okay. Two terms. Doesn't look like I have a greatest common factor. This appears it's going to be the difference of two squares. Agreed? We could put the 0x in, but we could also recognize that this is going to be the same thing as 2x plus 3 and 2x minus 3. If you don't see it that way, then you could look at it this way. My magic number is negative 36. I need alternating signs. And I need the factors of 36 that are the same factor. So I get the 0x. And that would give me the 6 and the 6. One's positive, one's negative. And you can just rewrite it like this. Look here, say, okay, I can factor out 2x. Then I'm left with 2x minus 3. I can factor out 2x here. 2x minus 3. And then that clearly could show you that that's the answer. So, which way should you do it? Whatever way you feel comfortable with. Yeah.
I have a question. So can you go back to the one we just did?
Yeah.
Number
This one?
11, yeah. So, this one, we have negative 5 times negative 20 in the bottom right. That's our, the factors.
Mm-hmm.
And then we put them at, you can also just put them at the bottom with that x minus 20 and x minus 5.
Mhm.
But that didn't work on this one, the one we just did. Is that because there was a trick? It was the difference between two squares.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the difference between two squares, you can do the shortcut way, or you could plug in the 0x and then realize it. That way, this looks similar to what we had worked on.
Okay.
So some people will start seeing the trick. Some of you will start seeing it eventually. But if you don't see the trick, if you continue to realize, oh, I can put a 0x in there as a placeholder and go from there. Anything else up through? Yeah. Who what? 13?
Yeah. And 14.
Okay. 13. We got 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. Okay, it does not look to have a greatest common factor. It's very possible this is a perfect square trinomial, which, if you know how to do perfect square, you take the square root of that, take the square root of that, put the same sign in both. That's my answer. Okay? If you recognize that. Now, you have to realize, if you're not able to do this, that's positive 36. Both have to have the same sign of negative because that's negative, and the factors of 36. So which of those, both being negative, would add up to negative 12? Get the 6 and the 6. Then just doing it an old-fashioned way. Bring that 9 down. And then look for your greatest common factor. Looks like a 2x comes out of that. That negative comes down. Factor out a 3. And then you can probably clearly see how that's going to equal that. So it's your choice which way you want to do it. Okay? And again, some of you will start recognizing, going, oh, I have a perfect square, perfect square. Could this work? So, and again, which way am I expecting you to do it? Whichever way you feel the most appropriate doing. In 14, you said 2?
Yep.
14, I believe, is going to be the same type of way. Let's double check it though. So 4x squared minus 20x plus 9. Well, 4x squared is a perfect square, and 9 is a perfect square. So it's very possible this will be 2x minus 3 and 2x minus 3. It's very possible, but let's double check this. If I had done it this way, middle terms are negative 6x, negative 6x, which gives me negative 12x. So this way does not work. Okay? Didn't have to write the sum. All right, so let's do our magic way. So that's 36. It's positive 36. Both signs have to be negative. I think 2 and 18 are the factors will work, both being negative. Give me that negative 18. So is that okay? Factor out a 2x. That stays negative. Factor out a 9. And then this will work out to be 2x minus 9 and 2x minus 1. So that one I thought it might be difference 2 squares, but it did not work appropriate to make it. So you always have to double check it, make sure you're good.
And how would you double check it?
So I would have just double distributed the center term. So 2x times negative 3, that's negative 6x, and negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x. Didn't work. Is somebody humming?
I hear that.
That's a. Anything else on that front page? We good? I'm going to move to the back page, 18 through 26. Take a look at those first. Yeah. 26.
Will we see something like that?
You will not see one like 26 tomorrow. You might see it on the test. I think that's supposed to be 14xy. I think they have it misprinted. Y squared. So if you had this kind of problem, don't let it frighten you. It's perfect squares. Those are perfect squares, perfect squares. So you're going to get 7xy oh, you know what? This was a y squared, right?
Yeah.
Oh. That, and that are on all, so you can factor a y squared out. And then you get 49x squared plus 14x. And then you have to have a 1 as a placeholder. And I think that'll work. I think that's a perfect square trinomial. So the y squared is your GCF. I think it's going to be 7x plus 1. 7x plus 1. Okay, and again, if you don't see it that way, then factor in this part. Our magic number is 49. It's positive. Both sides have to be positive. Factors 49, 1, 49, 7 and 7. Which ones work? 7 and 7 both being positive. if you work it out, you'll definitely see it. Gives you the 7x plus 1, 7x plus 1. But you have the greatest common factor of y squared in there. Will you see greatest common factor tomorrow?
Uh-huh.
What else do you have up through number 26 on that back page? 25?
23.
25 says 4x to the fourth minus 36y squared. Is that right?
Yeah.
Does that appear to be the difference of two squares? Yeah, because 4x squared is the same thing as 2x squared, or 4x to the fourth is the same as 2x squared times 2x squared. 36y squared is the same thing as 6y times 6y. Agree? So this is the difference of two squares. So this is going to go 2x squared minus 6y and 2x squared plus 6y. Alternating signs. That's the best way to do it. There's really no other way to do it. Just recognize you have two terms. The two terms are separated by a subtraction sign. Both terms have to be perfect squares, so it's the difference of two squares. What was the other one you said?
23.
23. Does 23 appear to have? Does 23 appear to have a greatest common factor? We got 5x squared plus 100x plus 500. What does my greatest common factor appear to be? Appears to be a 5, right? So I have a 5 and then x squared plus 20x plus 100. So this 5 comes down to the very end. Does it appear that this middle part here is a perfect squared trinomial? It does. X squared is perfect square because x times x is x squared. 100 is a perfect square because 10 times 10 is 100. Okay? So I think this is going to become x plus 10, x plus 10. But let's double check it. If I were to multiply this out, I know that the first and the last are going to give me the x squared and the 100. So 10x outside 10x, 10x plus 10x is 20x. It definitely works. So don't forget your greatest common factor because you hate to miss a point on something like that. And there's our answer.
Even if you didn't do the GCF, you would still get x plus 10, x plus 10. Except just not. Never mind.
Okay. I was like, wait a minute. Might be different.
You also do 20.
20? Yeah. 20 is kind of goofy. I'd say 20 might be a bonus on the test. Probably won't. You won't see it on the quiz, but it's okay to work it. Okay, we don't have a greatest common factor. They all don't have an x in common. They all don't have a y in common. So let's do this. I think sometimes the best way to do this, if you have an x squared then an x, and then you have a y to a y squared, I think the best way to do this, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting conversations. I think the best way to do this is to have, can I factor that? Is that something we might know how to do? I think so. I mean, let's do our magic number. We get negative 24. So I know I have alternating signs. The factors of 24, that could be the negative 5. I'd say I'd go to the 3 and the 8, where you have a positive 3 and a negative 8. And then let's factor this. So you have an x, and then you have 4x plus 3. Bring down a negative. Looks like a 2 can factor out. So my answer is going to be x minus 2. We'll leave a little space there. And 4x plus 3. We'll leave space there. What do you think I should put in that space from above? What should I put right here and right here? Should I put there? Look at our original purple one.
Why?
Or why? Someone's phone. Do I need to start collecting phones at the beginning of class? Because some of you are on your second and third violation. It's pretty disrespectful. Turn them off. If you're on them, I'm taking them. Okay? First violation is a warning. Second, you get supervised study. Third one is a 3-day suspension. It's insubordination. Okay? Keep them away. Don't pull them out. It's rude behavior. Okay, do you want me to check my cell phone and see what the latest stuff is? Because I can. I can take away from your education. You can see grades drop more. I guarantee if your folks were here, they'd be probably a little pissed at you. And this is not going to all of you. It's going to those who are like, oh, I'm more important than anything, therefore I'm going to have my phone out. If you want to be rude, find a different class to be in. I don't want you here. If that's your attitude, figure it out. What else you got? 28. All right. Let me do 27 and 28 now. You won't see these on the quiz. You could see them on the test.
So tonight when I'm going over, should I focus on the front side of this paper?
Front and the back side. Okay? Just not 27, 28. So you have a square here, and then you have a square inside of a square, right? And the bigger of the squares is shaded. So we want to try and figure out how would we find the area. How do I find the area of just a square? Base times height. So m times m, which is m squared. Now, if I want to get rid of this region by subtracting it, what would the area of this one be? N squared. So this is how you would find the area of the shaded region right here. Okay? Can I factor this?
No.
Is m squared a perfect square?
Oh yeah.
Is n squared a perfect square?
Yeah.
You can't see that. M times m, n times n. Done. 28, find the dimensions to the figure. Oh, okay. So 28, is it a square? I'd say so. So they give you the area as this. And this is a totally deeper thought, probably going to be a bonus type of question. Does a square have the same length and width? Yeah? So this is the area. So this has to be a perfect square trinomial. So if that's the case, I'm going to take the square root of that, which is 5c. Take the square root of that, which is 17. And that's the dimensions to my square. That's the length and the width. That's all I got. We good? All right. Would you make sure your names are on those and anything else you're handing forward? Pass them on up, please. I want to do is, this is period 2. I'm going to give you the assignment, which is a review. You're welcome to come ask me for help. This is not, I'm going to sit here and do nothing. This is, and if you don't have your book with you, I'd say take your phone, take a picture of your neighbors, get out a sheet of paper, and work on it. Okay? If you have questions, please feel free to bring it up. I want to talk to each of you individually, though, for the next couple of minutes about where your grade's at. Okay? Because the end of the marking quarter, the third 9 weeks, comes out on Friday. I think it's emailed home. I don't know. It's just posted. It doesn't go on your transcripts, but it gives you a basic look at where you're at. So I would like you to work on organizing class on page 61 and 62. And then I would say skip 33 and 34. So this should be a pretty good review of what you'll see on tomorrow. Just take a look. The homework I just did? Yeah, I'll collect this tomorrow. Oh, okay. Also, you're going to skip numbers 27 through 32. That's a concept we haven't done yet. So you just have to look at 1 through 26. Got it? Good? All right, so let me start getting my thing. I'll get the light switch on for you. Take a look at it. If you don't have yours, you're expected to take a picture of your friends and do it on a separate sheet of paper. And then I can talk to you about grades.